WYFF News 4 at 6 starts right now.
Commitment 2026. South Carolina voters back at the polls today.
Several nominations still need to be decided for top offices in the state. WYFF News 4 has team coverage making sure you are informed as you cast your ballot and as results come in tonight.
We're staying dry and quiet, but a big warm-up on the way. Coming up, I'll tell you how hot we'll be for this weekend.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for WIFF News 4 at 6 on this primary runoff election night. I'm Sydney Shadrax alongside Mark Whiteman.
Several nominations for key offices in the state will be decided tonight, including governor, attorney general, and agriculture commissioner. And we are just about an hour away from polls closing. Remember, if you are in line at 7 o'clock, you can still vote. And tonight, we continue our election team coverage across the state on these races that matter to you. We begin with our coverage for the race for governor. Henry McMaster is term limited and cannot run for re-election. The Republican candidates on the ballot tonight and today are Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette and Attorney General Alan Wilson. We begin with Alan Wilson's campaign. Our Jane Roblo joins us from Columbia with more.
Sydney and Mark, 2 weeks ago, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette came away with the most votes in the primary. But just after getting enough votes to make the runoff, Alan Wilson got the support of fifth-place finisher Nancy Mace. It built up from there, and following Monday, Congressman Ralph Norman, who came in third, threw his support to Alan Wilson. Then, last Friday, the biggest shift of wind favoring the Wilson campaign came when President Donald Trump co-endorsed Wilson expressed elation and confidence.
It reflects President Trump's recognition that this campaign is a legitimate, serious campaign. It's also a reflection that President Trump knows that I have supported and defended him, and that I'm going to defend and support his agenda, but also South Carolina values as we move forward. And so I do believe on Tuesday we're going to win this race.
And Alan Wilson was also buoyed by an endorsement from U.S. Senator Tim Scott. That came right on the heels of the Trump endorsement. But they say they are not taking anything for granted and have continued to vie for every single vote in this runoff. In windy and warm Columbia, Jane Roblo, WYFF News 4.
Turning now to Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette's campaign for governor.
Our Nate Stanley joins us live from Myrtle Beach with more. Nate?
Well, Mark, Sydney, where I'm standing right now is just feet away from the beach. It's also just feet away from where Pamela Evette will be hosting her official campaign watch party. And after months and months of campaigning, this is where she will find out if that campaign is heading into November or if it ends here tonight. Now, the Lieutenant Governor was in the upstate earlier today to cast her vote in Greenville County, and she is making her way down to the coast where we are right now. She says stopping along the way in Columbia. Now, her campaign watch party 2 weeks ago was full of state leaders. Tonight, we will find out if that will be the case. Again, this watch party 260 miles away from home in Myrtle Beach will be keeping an eye out for any of the 9 names that she says she's considering to be her lieutenant governor pick. Now, this week, she published that list of hopefuls, including state and business leaders from different regions. She says these are her criteria for that person: a rock-solid conservative that supports President Trump, someone who is business-minded, and a person that has strong faith. The lieutenant governor boasted the only Trump endorsement for much of this race, campaigning on being the Trump candidate. Last Friday, however, Trump endorsed her and her opponent, Attorney General Alan Wilson. She was asked about that endorsement. Take a listen.
Well, you know, I was proud that when there was a very crowded field, the president picked me. And I promised him I'd win it for him on the 9th, and I did. And I told him the other day when he texted me, I'll win it for you on the 23rd also.
And again, tonight we will find out if that promise will come true. We'll have live updates from inside all night long and give you the very latest. Reporting in Myrtle Beach, Nate Stanley, WYFF News 4.
Nate, thank you. And turning now to the race for South Carolina Attorney General.
The office is currently held by Alan Wilson, as you just heard Nate mention, running for governor. The candidates for the Republican nomination are Stephen Goldfinch and David Stumbo. And our Caitlin Ashbaugh is following the campaign of David Stumbo. She joins us live now with more. Caitlin?
Hey, Sydney and Mark. Well, what we know at this point is that Stumbo is currently aiming to only run for 2 terms of Attorney General's office, whereas his predecessor has currently finished up 16 years in the role with his current position. And Stumbo says that his previous experience as a solicitor is something that helps him stand out in this race. We'll talk to you a little bit about that experience here. Currently, he's serving in the 8th Judicial Circuit, which represents parts of Abbeville, Greenwood, Lawrence, and Newberry counties. And during that time, he's focused on prosecuting cases that involve violent crime, child abuse, sex crimes, narcotics, and felony DUI cases. Stumbo also prides himself on being a lifelong conservative Republican. He said that he'd aim to tackle corruption and bring the human trafficking and internet crimes against children task forces to new levels if he's elected on day 1. He says, as I mentioned, his experience as a solicitor is what helps him stand out in this race.
That is a critical. I'm the only candidate left in this race that's a prosecutor, not a politician, and that's really what my career's been about. Politics are just part of the reality of the job having to run, but really I see myself as a courtroom prosecutor and a law enforcement leader, not a politician.
And Stumbo has received 19 endorsements from sheriffs and 5 solicitors across the state of South Carolina. And despite a scare for his health over the weekend, he says he's coming back and he's confident about the results from tonight. Of course, we'll be live from his watch party at the City Club later tonight in downtown Greenville as those results start to roll in. Reporting in Greenville, Caitlin Ashbot, WYFF News 4.
Caitlin, thank you. And as we mentioned, the other candidate on the ballot is State Senator Stephen Goldfinch.
Brad Broders joins us live now with more on Goldfinch's campaign for Attorney General. And Brad, you spoke with him exclusively today. Tell us more about how he spent this very important day.
Yes, Sydney and Mark, Stephen Goldfinch visited more than 20 voter precincts today, including some here in Murrells Inlet. He told me he's confident in he and his team's hard work in recent days in this final turnout push, and he believes that will be enough for his campaign to win the runoff later tonight. Now, this is video of Stephen Goldfinch this afternoon greeting voters at this precinct in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, not far from Myrtle Beach. Goldfinch told YFF News 4 that he's visited more than 20 precincts again today in Horry and Georgetown counties. Goldfinch and his campaign team also made thousands of calls in recent days, and he spent most of Monday knocking on doors in Mount Pleasant. In today's runoff, Goldfinch is hopeful for a repeat of the June 9th primary when he won nearly all counties in the Low Country, Midlands, and Petey regions of South Carolina. That was enough for Goldfinch to finish first in the primary, 19,000 votes ahead of second-place finisher David Stumbo, as he looks to make history.
Tremendously important to the people of the coastal communities. You know, we've never had a governor or an attorney general from Horry or Georgetown County. And so we're looking forward to being the first here. But, you know, I'm going to be an attorney general for the entire state. I've got a lot of friends in the upstate as well.
Another thing to keep an eye on tonight, the potential impact of the endorsement of David Pasco. He endorsed David Stumbo after that primary. That's significant because David Pasco finished in 3rd place with 24% of the vote in that primary. Reporting live in Murrells Inlet, Brad Broders, WYFF News 4.
Brad, thank you. And as we take a look at the Democratic nominees in these races for governor, the winner tonight will face Democratic State Representative Jermaine Johnson. And in the race for Attorney General, the Democratic nominee is Attorney Richard Hrissick.